Hey, welcome back to the weight cut. So we do this every Saturday now. We're going to analyze some of the machine learning picks, some of the BCDC analyst picks from Grant Emmerich, kind of talk about those, and then also the ZOD picks and just which ones we really like. Also the 50-50 fights. I'm going to do the 50-50 fights here instead of doing an article this week, just so we're clear. And just to talk about those picks, just while we're on the subject, I am 13-3 with about 10.05 units or 10 units, rounded. And these are all mostly 50-50 fights. At the beginning, it wasn't too much 50-50. It was more main events. But now it's all 50-50 fights. So I tried to provide an analysis for that. And I'm going to look at the sports books here for a quick second. And right now I would say the closest fight that we have is Rafael Garcia and Jesse Bronson, and probably Devin Clark and William Knight. And so I actually have done a little bit of analysis here on Rafael Garcia and Jesse Bronson. And I posted on Twitter, Jesse has lost previously at -120. Odds before, they're both 1-2 in the UFC. Nothing really outstanding. Personally, right now, it just seems tough, and it seems like one of these dudes is going to get gone, right? Like one of these guys is going after today. Like they're not coming back. And I personally see that, Jesse Bronson has a takedown offense of 78%, and that's pretty hard to come by usually. And obviously, takedown defense from Rafael Garcia is 90, but I'm going to go with the individual that pursues the grappling or is a little bit better about it. So I'm actually going to go with Jesse Bronson here. So I'm actually disagreeing with the models right now. The models actually have Rafael Garcia, which is an underdog. But depending on how much it swings, the models might switch over. But again, we've made our picks, so we're gonna roll with that. But Rafael Garcia, we'll see. And then the second one is Devin Clark and William Knight. And I personally, I don't know. William Knight looks huge, absolutely huge at heavyweight, and I'm not sure what Devin Clark's going to be able to do, but I'm not really sure what William Knight's going to be able to do after the first round. So I'm going to go with the fact that we have a stat for the Pizza Money stats that's -150 to -190 fighters. For heavyweight are 7-3 in their last 10 fights, and we're placing that money on that straight pick. And our machine learning picks also have Devin Clark, and I'm a numbers guy. And so I'm going to roll with those two for that. And, I'm going to go with Devin Clark and Jesse Bronson there. Again, I'm 13-3 and 10.05 units positive. And I really want to make this more exciting here. So, if you guys have anything that you guys want to talk about or discuss with me, please just share what you guys want. And I'm just going to go over some more of the picks today and, be clear on what we have. Just to hit on the machine learning picks. I personally like Levitt over Trey Ogden on the machine learning picks as well. I see Levitt probably winning. I also thought it was kind of charismatic of him to be posting about his odds and saying that he probably has a 60% chance instead of the 40% that sportsbooks have. I like the humor in that, and I think if he's looking at sportsbooks like that, it might be a good motivational factor. However, that's hilarious, right? Absolutely hilarious. I just want to say that I gotcha. So don't think like that. Don't ever think like that. I think it's ridiculous when people say things like that, right? Like, we got to go by numbers. We got to go by, picks. We're going to go by machine learning. We're not going off of, Jordan Levitt talked about how he's, probability. Who cares what Jordan Levitt says? Who cares? Honestly. So I just wanted to see if I was baiting you and you're nodding your head when that was going on. I hope not. But outside of that, let's just touch on Grant's picks here. So he is 57-28, and that is, what is that? 57 plus 28 here, and then 57 divided by 85. So he's 67% through 85 picks. He's absolutely killing it. I think he's going to have another great night tonight. He's about 6.38 units in profit. And he's going with Alatang, Nunes. He's going with Jordan Levitt and Martin Boudet, Jesse Bronson, Drakkar Close, Penny, who's a huge favorite. And then he's going with William Knight, Munir, and Pat Sabatini, which I also think might be going to a decision as well. It's a 75% chance looking at their historical fights. And I think the odds are -120. So that's a free pizza money pick while listening to the weight cut analysis. So shout out to you guys who are actually watching these. And Bueno Silva, Andre with an underdog. I'm pretty surprised by that, to be honest. I would have loved to seen his reasoning behind that. And then he's going with Godsey Armor. I don't know how to say it. I'm not gonna lie. He's brand new to the UFC, and I'm not sure. And then lastly, he's going with Luque. And so his parlays, his overall parlays or bets that he's going to be placing is he's doing a parlay with Close, Penny, and then Bueno Silva, 2 units for 1.82. Again, this is posted on BCDC's website. And then he's going with Close and Vicente Luque. And then his straight bets, he's doing Martin Boudet. And then he's doing a Bellator, which obviously we know the answer to this one, but his Bellator pick was AJ McKee, Tyrell Fortune, Aaron Pico, and Corey Anderson's money line. And that was 0.5 units that he ended up losing. Again, parlays, exciting. They're fun. Sometimes mathematically they don't add up, but I think from a standpoint of what he was looking at, I think he saw that McKee had a great fight last time, and it should have been more of the same results. But I think maybe AJ McKee might have been a little distracted there, talking about a lot of the UFC stuff, having a lot of bad karma. I'm not gonna lie. Talking about beating Volkanovski, and Volkanovski's like 24-1. Like, yeah, you're 18-0, but are you 18-0 fighting in the UFC or fighting in Bellator? Like, there's a big difference between fighting in Bellator and the PFL and the UFC, right? Like, when you're coming up through the UFC, you're fighting PFL top dogs. But when you're coming up to the cream of the crop in the UFC, and to be honest, this is why the UFC doesn't do this. This is why UFC doesn't do cross promotions, because MMA, one, is hard to predict, but we predict it pretty awesome. I just want to point that out. But it's difficult, right? You never know. Somebody could get a lucky shot, and then now they're better all of a sudden, right? By MMA standards. And that's why we do our rankings based on the statistics, not just the fighter. And that's why some of those heavy champions, not the heavyweights, but the champions sometimes in our rankings aren't even number one. And so that's why we are so different than just the regular UFC rankings. Like, just because you're champion, you're number one. Well, what if you fought this dude? Would you win? Like, would Sterling win against Jose Aldo? Maybe not. But does Aldo beat Jan again, lose to Jan again? Yeah. So it's a big, circular of who's winning, who's not winning, stuff like that. So I really think, going back to Bellator, the AJ McKee was a smart pick. Corey Anderson looked fantastic. Our models had Anderson. I know I didn't post anything, so it's tough to believe me when I didn't post anything, but we ran our models through our UFC data of what we had with Corey Anderson, and we were projecting him to win the fight, and expecting it to be a ground fight, all the things that we saw. But what are you gonna do? Headbutt, and it's tough, I guess. Is hopefully they run this back, and Corey Anderson can be the new champ of Bellator. But yeah, it's tough. And then lastly, I just want to talk about some pizza money picks. We have Luque win by finish plus 120, and then we have Silva winning by decision. 67% chance of their fights going to a decision. Price of it is minus 165. So a solid, solid. How do I say it? Solid edge. Sorry, guys, it was a tongue twister there. And so that's a big one there. And 3-0 in the last 3 fights of fighters of minus 470 and higher to about 510. So right around where she's sitting right now. And then we have Clark as a straight pick in our pizza money due to the pricing and the most recent 10 fights of fighters at that price for that weight class. So it's going to be a big night, going to be a different night, our afternoon and night fights. Again, our overall picks are 294 and 178, so about 62% accuracy, 9.6 units. It's our most profitable thing this year. I would say obviously I have 10 units of profit, but I would say that I get to pick and choose a little bit more, where the machine learning model is predicting and giving you guys insight on an overall level. And obviously it's been predicting at about 65% accuracy for its last almost 100 fights. So 65 out of 100 basically. And curious to see how it does this week. I think a lot of these fighters are how do I say it, below tier. I don't think these are like the best fights this week. But I do think that they're important fights for what's going to happen next in some of these guys' careers, and where they go. Like Bilal Muhammad, I think is 20-3, and one of his losses is a Luque by a left hook. So I don't know. I think there's some fighters like that. Garcia Ronson are fighting to stay on the UFC. I think Clark and Knight are trying to figure out, are they gatekeepers? Are they more than a gatekeeper? And then I think, Bilal Muhammad again, I just think, are you a top 5 contender fighting for the belt? Or are you going to be a gatekeeper, kind of like Vicente Luque is? Vicente Luque dominates some people, and then other times it's a real struggle. We'll see if he can stop the takedowns. I personally think it will be stopped. He's just so physically dominant in his fights. He really puts on the pressure, and he really just has clean, crisp striking. Really one of the best outside of like a Stephen Thompson, where he ran into that. But I think overall he's fantastic striking, and might be a problem for a lot of other welterweights because his pace is still there and has good cardio, and is pretty smart, knows to get up. Knows when he's in control, things of that nature. So he has a higher level IQ. And the last thing I want to leave with you guys is, do you find that UFC or MMA fighters are as smart as a football or baseball or a hockey, whatever your other favorite sport is? Do you think, and please put it in the comments or into Twitter comments, and tag us and let us know, do you think MMA fighters are smarter than, let's say, baseball players? I am curious to see what you guys think. Do you think that they have a higher IQ because they have to learn so many different techniques? Do you think that baseball players or football players are dumb because they put on helmets and they hit each other? Or do you think they're really smart because they got to learn, X's and O's? Baseball players have to adapt to different pitches and different situations. Or do you really think like maybe MMA is really done? Like these guys sign up to get hit in the face. I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say. Do you think that, learning all these different techniques and things of this nature puts you at a IQ level higher? Just from a standpoint of IQ, not anything like which sport's better or anything like that. And then comparing it to like a baseball or a football, and who has got to be smarter in their sport. Excuse me. I really am curious. I've been having this debate with a couple people, and I just I don't know. I want to see what you guys think and what you guys feel about like how the IQ levels change between different sports. Or your favorite sport, obviously, is MMA, and another favorite sport like football or something, or hockey. So let me know. And I really hope you guys enjoy the fights. Thank you guys for staying tuned to everything. Again, I think we got some really solid picks. I expect our machine learning picks to do pretty well this weekend, and give you guys some good money and some very solid profit for the fights. So enjoy. Have a good weekend. If you're celebrating any of the 3 holidays this weekend, happy holidays to you guys. Ramadan, I believe, is ending. Passover is this weekend, and Easter is also this weekend. So, and if you're not celebrating any of those holidays, then I hope you just have a great weekend. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow on the Sunday Ice Pack analysis. Thank you guys. Bye.